I want to know who is this guy and why he's being cancelled. The deserved downfall of Mizkif.
Mizkif is currently experiencing one of the most destructive downfalls in Twitch history. And from everything that's come out so far,
just you guys knows, I'm from Brazil and Mizkif is like, no one knows Mizkif here, okay? Even I know Mizkif by name because I think he's a streamer for like years, but I don't know what is happening in his life right now. I just know he's being cancelled or something like that, but I don't know why.
Nothing he can realistically say or do to salvage his reputation.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Allegations from his ex-girlfriend and popular streamer, Amiru, include everything from mental and physical abuse to him threatening self-assassination as a form of emotional manipulation. And that's not even close to the worst things she's exposed about him.
I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be analyzing the many allegations Amiru brought up against Mizkif, all the proof people on the internet have dug up, and his questionable response to the whole situation. The situation is still developing with new details coming out every day, so hit the subscribe button to stay up to date, and let's get on with the video. For those who don't know, both Mizkif and Amiru are some of the biggest streamers on Twitch, with Amiru averaging nearly 19,000 viewers, while Miz streams to an audience of over 14,000 on the regular. It's also important to note that they lived in the same house and were part of the same organization called OTK, but until recently, the two never publicly admitted to being in a relationship with each other, though most of their fans already suspected as much, and even saw it as fairly cute and wholesome at times. However, while their relationship seemed like an open secret, no one could have expected the level of toxicity that was festering just below the surface. The bombshell dropped on October 25th, 2025, when Amiru went live with a stream titled "Talking About Some Things." Fans initially assumed that she was going to talk about the TwitchCon incident that happened just a few days earlier, where a deranged fan attacked her on stage in front of everyone. Amiru, however, came prepared with a different topic in mind.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing.
She opened by—
There's not only in Brazil that the streamers are like fucking animals. Okay.
Publicly acknowledging the relationship between her and Mizkif.
I ended up joining the org and everything. We did a lot of streams together. And I mean, a lot of people already know this, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022.
While also clarifying her reasoning for why she was talking about it all now.
The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger or being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and to someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything.
However, while wanting to save others from the same treatment she endured for years was a large part of it, it wasn't her only reason. As it turned out, Mizkif had been threatening her with a smear campaign against her ever since their relationship fell apart earlier this year. According to Amiru, he even went as far as approaching other creators who were close with the
contract his Mizkif for here and other streams participates in such efforts. I was told to the approach other stream her close
and asked them to join his side. And when none of them agreed to slander Emiru on his behalf, he went into full supervillain mode and resorted to more direct threats.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me.
For Emiru, this was a step too far, forcing her to come forward with everything before Mizkif made his move and muddied the truth. And after providing the much needed context, Emiru continued with her first allegation against Mizkif, highlighting just how controlling he was in their relationship.
It's not a secret.
Against Mizkif.
She told her stream. I think everyone who paid attention know that he was very controlling over what I heard to a degree. How it says even on stream allegations, including having plastic bottles thrown at her.
Just how controlling he was in their relationship.
It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream.
This on its own is already a major red flag for many, but as Emiru described in her stream, this was only the beginning, and it wasn't long before things escalated to the point of physical abuse.
It was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always...
But if the things, if no, I believe in her. But okay, this is like police case, no? No? Like violence or something like that?
You know, it was like, oh, it's an accident, and I was like, oh yeah. At the time, I just kind of was, you know, I just brushed it off, and looking back now, I feel like that was kind of the start of him testing my boundaries, if that makes sense.
An important thing to note here is that while Emiru brought receipts for some of the allegations, many had no other proof besides her words. Which makes sense. After all, she wasn't living her life expecting to someday need a catalogue of evidence to defend herself publicly. Now, this would have given Mizkif a way to defend himself by labeling most of Emiru's claims as nothing more than the lies of a bitter ex. That is, until the internet took it upon themselves to prove the allegations. And the evidence they discovered against Mizkif was overwhelming to say the least. For instance, someone dug up an old screenshot of Emiru's stream and
she feels the need to screenshot and show the fights that's pretty scared on her about the time she had the black eye. Where would that really come from? Her she liked her black eye peak.
She was switching between different apps on her computer, where one of the applications showed what looked like a close-up shot of her face showing a black eye. This screenshot was taken back in May 2023, while she was still in a relationship with Mizkif. Another leaked screenshot from that time also showed her telling her friends about the black eye, writing, "I got a black eye a week or two ago and it's finally almost gone." And while there's no way to prove that this was the same incident she talked about in her recent stream, the timeline does match up. But that's not all. People discovered a clip of Mizkif getting angry and throwing stuff at Maya, who was his girlfriend before Emiru.
I'm not talking to him today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not talking to him.
Okay.
Look at her face. She's so uninterested.
She said no.
Maya unimpressed. That's what that was.
2 Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past few days.
Oh my god.
If that was
Throw it back. Throw it
yeah,
back.
There better be.
What the hell, man?
2 Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past few days.
Oh my god.
If that was
Throw it back. Throw
If
it
the
back.
guy, if this guy do this, if this guy do this on live with everyone watching, imagine what this guy do off live. He's crazy.
Oh
kind
my
of,
god, I
kind of.
beat the shit out of him.
Do that.
We're live.
Do that?
We're live.
As a commenter on Reddit puts it, he's going to need insane levels of receipts to clear his name from all of this. Though that might not be enough, considering everything so far is only about the first major allegation Amiru raised against him. Mizkif's behavior became a whole lot worse when he got accused of covering for his roommate and fellow streamer Crazy Slick, after he allegedly essayed another streamer named Adriana Lee. OTK hired a third party to investigate the situation, eventually exonerating Mizkif, stating that the Investigations Council did not find direct evidence that Mizkif attempted to minimize or cover up essay as alleged. And as you might imagine, many did not believe this report one bit, writing things like, "We investigated ourselves and found out nothing happened," and surprise surprise, OTK hired a lawyer doesn't find OTK member at fault. Regardless of what the outcome of that situation was, the backlash from around the internet made Mizkif even more bitter and angry, making his treatment of Amiru even worse.
He never wanted to stream at the same time as me. We really avoided it. The first time that we ever streamed at the same time was for the 2024 Rust Kingdoms event on Twitch. Like I said, you can go find all of this. This is public. There are clips of this. We're both streaming the Rust event, and I thought it was going really well. I thought everyone was having fun. I was like, oh, this is great. Everyone's, you know, doing the same thing at the same time. We're all hanging out, you know, we're gonna have fun. Like, I was really, really excited. And then I start seeing in my chat, people start saying, unofficial Miz raid, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I check my Discord messages, and he's messaging me. He's saying, like, Emmy, you know, I waited, or I'm gonna KMS, I waited so long for this, etc. Basically he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him. And like I said, this is during an event.
Him getting upset over Amiru having a higher viewership might sound a bit too petty to be
guys,
real.
I don't want you to judge or nothing, but this guy, I just watched before this stream the most strange Easter I ever had watched in my life. The shorts here. Where is the shorts that I watched? That was really. What the fuck, dude? It was, I think it's on his channel. That's one.
Do you know that?
This one.
Yo, I want to make this video to show you guys why I haven't been streaming and why I haven't been live lately. I've actually got a girlfriend, and I don't want to hide her from you, so I'd rather show you guys who she is. So, yeah, I'm going to show you and show who she is today. Her name is Juice. Juice.
Hey guys.
I'm gay.
Like, what?
I'm gay.
I didn't get. I just didn't get. What the fuck was that? Demo time? Sora is getting too good. How much did you pay her for that keys? She still has. Yes. That's why people are saying that it's fake. People is saying that it's fake. But I don't really got what the fuck was that. Oh, he made a video telling the truth. Let's see after.
As the people on the internet discovered, insecurity over
How
his
old are you,
viewership numbers
Maria?
has been a running theme in
Yes,
Mizkif's
you know.
career.
Doing sponsors at my desktop.
You had 7,000 viewers when you were playing the crane game.
I had 14,000 this morning IRLing at the nonprofit.
Okay, I didn't need to hear that.
He gets upset when I succeed.
No, okay. I used no. I used to get upset. I'm not kidding you, chat. I used to legitimately get fucking pissed because I'm like, are you fucking serious? I brought this bitch into the world, and now all of a sudden she's fucking growing faster than I was.
Most people at the
Holy fuck, Jesus. I literally can see a Brazilian YouTuber right now on this peak. I really can see. I really can see. and Brazilian YouTuber who is definitely this guy. Definitely.
The time assumed that he was just playing up his jealousy as a joke, when in reality
YouTuber,
those might have been
not
his
only
real feelings
YouTuber.
all along. As a viewer puts it, people thought he was jokingly being an a-hole, but he really is just an a-hole. Veil has been lifted. And if emotionally manipulating his girlfriend by threatening to himself wasn't bad enough, he still found a way to take it even further.
He ended his stream, and then I'm still live, you know, trying to act like nothing's wrong. And in that house, I had a glass door so I could like see this was happening. He was walking behind me. He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up. So even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore.
Upon hearing this, people went back to Amiru's stream from that day, and things
stream.
played out exactly as she described. From him getting visibly upset by Amiru reaching higher viewership than him.
Do it, dude! We'll join the resistance!
You're spelling it wrong? Yeah, my bad.
To slamming the door loud enough to startle Amiru multiple times.
Listen, why are we all acting like we haven't murdered? Like we haven't pillaged? She was coming after me!
But as bad as this was, it paled in comparison to what came afterwards.
He would destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy.
I don't get this, guys. I need to pause here and tell this because it's not like this is not the first time I saw things like this. I work as a YouTuber for like 16 years and I know like everybody in Brazil, every YouTuber, every big, every medium, every YouTuber I know because I work with this. So I see these situations in like a lot of guys. The guy, the man, the guy, the boy, the streamer, whoever it is, bring the girls to the live, make her famous, and after get pissed of this. So stop being stupid. Stop keep girls on all your lives. Stop do only stuff like this. If you don't want a chat that only will be with you if you with girls online, I'm not talking that Mizkif case is that one, but I'm talking like a whole situation where YouTubers or streamers just have chats or someone to talk with. There's girls in the live if there's something crazy happen because they don't create a community. And this guy is just showing that the guy has a comment. Okay, he's big as fuck. I know Mizkif was big. I don't know anymore, but he was pissed when their girlfriend starts to get viewers. I don't know if he put they in lives. They use it to like girls like to get yes. Girls to bring followers, guy. Everyone, every language, in every place. Couples and girls always bring followers. Okay, but the case here is not like I don't know if Emiru or the other ex-girlfriend was already streamers, but if you bring them to stream and now you piss it because they are getting successful. This guy's like a crazy my English not the best. Sorry.
Again, you can go see this in some of his vlogs.
I don't know the word psychopath.
The holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me. And then at home, other things would happen, like I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure. There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him. and mine was doing better.
Emiru also recounted another incident where he was upset of a Mr. Beast collabing with another streamer and not inviting him. And instead of dealing with his emotions like a sane adult, he began driving at obscene speeds with Emiru in the passenger seat, while threatening to end everything.
We were just getting food, and he was on his phone, and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh.
It was Ludwig.
Well,
I know. I don't know why, but I know. He was jealous about Ludwig on the video. I have 10%. I have 100%.
No, like, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about himself while doing it.
What makes this even worse is that people found an older clip of Maya describing the same behavior from one of her ex-boyfriends.
Anyway, there's something about being trapped in a car with an angry, aggro man that is like the absolute most helpless thing. Dude, I did a guy that would go like 100 miles an hour on the, like we would fight in the car, which was never my decision. Like it just always like happened. Like we just would like fight in the car, and then he'd go like 100. And I would like literally like beg him to slow down. I'd be so scared and I'd cry, and then he would not slow down until I apologized.
And while Maya didn't mention Mizkif by name in this clip, given the similarities with what Emiru described, most people are certain she was talking about him. Emiru eventually found the courage to break up with him and moved to her own house. A week after their breakup, Mizkif asked if he could come over and talk things out for the sake of closure. And that's when the most serious accusation Emiru brought up against Mizkif happened.
So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with, but I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants.
Fortunately, he did back off after the scream, but instead of apologizing or checking if Emiru was okay, he somehow made it all about himself.
And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without checking if I was okay or anything.
Near the end of her stream, Emiru also showed the—
He's a creepy, yes. I don't know. I think this video and this relate is about 1 month ago. Oh, 13 days. But
over
I think
40
Mizkif
instances of him trying to contact her in the months after their breakup, trying to convince her to get back together.
Where's the Portuguese?
All while
It's
knowing
only
full well
English
that
today,
she didn't
Ruds.
want anything to do with him anymore. The whole thing made him look like a creep who couldn't accept that Emiru was done with—
Wait. This big test is in math. Hey, would you be willing to talk? Hey, I know it's been a while. I just want to say that I'm going back to Austin next week, and I think that we'll be able to talk with. I'm gonna be also doing a lot of collabs, and I know you have been doing a lot of collab, and I feel what I should be amicable with each other. So it's not weird because we're both now doing a lot of clubs, and I feel like it's we're both doing the same. That. Law, he was afraid. This message is clearly he was afraid of getting exposed. He was trying like, oh, I'm going to move the city and we need talk the last time. Let's go do some collabs. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
With his toxicity and abuse. As her viewers noted, Miz thought maybe she'll finally reply after this 39th attempt. My god, this man is ultra creepy. She probably gets enough of that shit from the creeper fans on the daily. Awful she had to experience it from the person she was supposed to be able to trust the most. This behavior is also likely why Emiru felt like she had to get a restraining order against Mizkif for her own safety.
Like I said before, people aren't stupid. I think it's pretty clear that a lot of people knew that things were happening, and like I said, you have to remember, it's not just me. A lot of people, they have their own, grievances with him. For the people who did know about this, thank you for being there for me through all of this and supporting me and cheering me on. And there were a lot of people as well who, even though they didn't know anything, without asking any questions, they still were very kind and supportive, and I will always remember that for the rest of my life. I also want to say, just so people know, that I'm not just trying to like put this out there and then, you know, I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him.
By the time Amiru ended her stream, the internet had turned against Mizkif, and understandably so. And with the evidence she had shown on stream, plus everything the internet had dug up, Mizkif didn't seem to have much room left to deny anything. Many even expected him to either go dark for a long time or quit streaming altogether, but to their surprise, Mizkif was live with his response just hours after Amiru shared the allegations. What surprised people even more, however, was the way he began the stream. He didn't start with an apology or the somber tone usually associated with—
I knew this type. He's gonna open a live like angry and furious and sad because of that, and this is not me. Who knows me well and know that I never gonna do something like this. Please put a white shirt. Oh yes, he's going to be like a white shirt. Yes,
content creators responding to serious allegations. Instead, Mizkif began the stream with a threat to everyone else, claiming that he will go demon time and expose all the dirt he has on other creators.
Expose everything, bro. It's time to go full demon time. It's clearly obvious at this point. It's full demon time. Why not? It is time to go full demon time. Just letting you know. There is no holding back. Who cares anymore? I will expose everything about every person that you've ever known.
Okay.
And it is time to go full demon time.
Okay, this not change. This is what you did, man. What the fuck? He was like, oh, I did shit. Okay, let's show the other people shit. Should they don't care about mine?
Now, there is no way to know for sure why he felt it was necessary to declare this before talking about the allegations Amiru brought up against him, but as one viewer puts it, maybe he did so to deter creators from making any statements on the controversy, writing, "His opening sounds more like a warning for any other creator who wants to join the topic or make any statement." That said, his actual response to the allegations wasn't much better either. He started by outright denying the allegations of—
He tried like to put the other streamers, the other creators like, oh, if you say something about that, I'm gonna expose you. Hey, Mizkif, I'm from Brazil, CSantana. Hello, expose me. Your motherfucker.
Throwing stuff at her, claiming that he never intended to hit her with the water bottles or his phone.
She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights. I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened. I will throw you and show you an example, chat. I'm brushing my teeth right here. Look at me. I would throw my phone on the bed. I would just lob it over because I was going to bed. So I would just throw the phone. That's the whole thing. I didn't throw it at her. I want to make that very clear. I never threw it at her. I never hit her. And she even said in her situation that she bruises easily. She brushed over that I threw water bottles with her on my phone near her, but that wasn't during our fights. It was.
I don't know if I believe what a liar he is. I understand what he's trying to put the situation here. Like me, I custom to have a joke with my ex about, like, I don't know how to say this in English, but do this, you know, to annoy the person. And I stopped because I saw that is a stupid joke. It's not cool. Otherwise my ex-girlfriend don't care, and it was like a joke. I just stopped because I know that's not cool. And he's trying to put like this. That's a situation where he just throw the phone and the phone like jump in the bed and hit the girl, or he just take the bowl of water and to play. No, dude, don't try it.
Throwing my phone on my bed when I brush my teeth. She did tell me she got bruises from it, and I stopped.
With neither side offering any direct proof, this would have been a
If you throw the cell phone on the bed, why she get bruised? If you throw the cell phone on the bed, how she can get bruised about that?
That wasn't during our fights.
It's because you throwing on her.
It would be throwing my phone on my bed when I brush my teeth. She did tell me she got bruises from it, and I stopped.
With neither side offering any direct proof, this would have been a situation where it was his word against hers. That is, if the people on the internet didn't find evidence of him throwing stuff at his previous girlfriend just as Emiru described he did to her. Not to mention the fact that he conveniently glossed over Emiru getting a black eye from one of the things he allegedly threw at her. That said, he did admit to having a lot of fights with Emiru, but also prefaced it with the excuse that the situation got so bad only because he was under a lot of stress from the SA cover-up allegations.
As this time happened, I was a massive wreck. Couldn't think straight, and being that Emiru hung out with me all day, she too started to become high-strung. We would yell at each other, fight, and argue all the time.
For a second, it looked like he was going to admit his wrongdoings and take responsibility. However, immediately after that, he began talking about how Emiru neglected her pet rabbits and left them to
Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail.
Even showing a video.
Guys, this is the problem when I talk like I used to live with other two YouTubers. When we leave the house, like me and they were twins. They are brothers. They both has like a million things to say about me, and I have a million things to say about them. You know, when you live with someone, when you have like a daily with someone, it's different, man. It's different. My mom can say like 100 things that can be cancelled for me, and I can say like 100 things that can be cancelled for my mom. You know, I'm not saying like bad things, but you know, daily things, because routine and live together make the things worse. Always. The stressful is 24/7. The fights, everything changed. You know. And like here is like he's trying to protect himself. The girl accused him of like abuse and and he's like, oh, she don't take care of the rabbits. Oh, the rabbits was dirty. You know, you understand what I'm trying to say?
To take care of them, but to no avail.
Even showing a video of just how dirty one of her rabbit's cages was. An important thing to note here is that Emiru already knew he would bring up her rabbits to make her look like a bad person, and even mentioned it in her original stream.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him.
Streamer I Keep It Taco also posted a lengthy statement defending Emiru and debunking the claims Mizkif made against her in his response, but we'll get to that later. For now, even if we assume everything Mizkif said was true, her mistreating her pet rabbits doesn't nullify the accusations she made against him, including the stuff about him controlling everything about her life, from what she wore to when she streamed. Mizkif's justification for this behavior was only that he did so to keep her safe from stalkers.
In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole, stop talking about past relationships, and yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt.
Once again, even if we
I don't want her to get hurt from others. Only me can hurt her.
Give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that his intentions were just as noble as he claimed, trying to control who
He's trying to make up, I don't know if this correct answer, but trying to make up the whole situation because he's like a nice guy. Yeah, Maria. Yeah. He's stuck in trying to be like the cool guy, the innocent
lying
guy.
Or IRL is still a step too far in most people's eyes. But then, Mizkif made perhaps the most odd confession of this entire response, implying that Emiru was just as violent as him. In his words, he broke doors and punched holes through walls, while Emiru threw plushies at him.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
The rest of his response flip-flopped between him admitting that he was in a bad mental state during their relationship.
As for what happened with me and Emaru, I mentally have been fucked up for years.
And trying to justify his actions in odd ways.
Did you really drive 150 miles an hour? I'm gonna say this very clear. If you know me in Austin, Texas, I drive fast everywhere. I drive fast literally everywhere.
As for the SA allegations, Mizkif had a very different retelling of what transpired that day.
We broke up for about a month, then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food, and then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then.
In his version, he framed the encounter as a date of sorts, and made no mention of her crying while this was all going on. That is a small but important detail that reframes the whole situation, and without any solid evidence, we can't be 100% sure on who is telling the truth. Though the general sentiment online is almost entirely in Emiru's favor. Mizkif seems to be aware of this too, saying that he'll stand up for himself since he has nothing left to lose.
Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry I don't. I'm gonna stand up for myself in a lot of these situations because a lot of it was not true. And I don't like that she was portraying that it was just me who was at fault. It was a toxic relationship, and that's what it was.
And that was the gist of his argument, that the two were equally responsible for everything bad that happened in their relationship. That is, until a few hours after the response stream ended and people found him arguing with viewers in the offline chat. And now he had a brand new reason for his bad behavior: drugs. Stating things like, "I've been in therapy for almost a year, been working on myself, and I want to continue doing so. I'm not going to go back to the place I once was. I was suicidal, depressed, and taking every type of drug possible to short-term fix my brain. And in doing that, I hurt myself more. I was on steroids because I thought it would fix myself. I was taking shrooms every day to fix my brain, but that destroyed me. I tried acid and that backfired. In doing that, I know I effed up so bad and hurt so many people around me. I lashed out, I was angry and out of my mind. I did take steroids that gave me insane anger issues." Which begs the question, if substance abuse was such a prominent reason behind his toxic behavior, why didn't he bring it up during his initial response? Is any of this even true, or is he just finding something else besides himself to blame for his destructive actions? Maybe we'll find out in the
Bro, you're still responsible for your... Yes, Maria. Yes, exactly what I'm thinking. I just didn't stop because I'm already stopped a lot. But yes, bro. I don't care if you're doing steroids, if you're doing weed, if you're doing mushrooms. I don't care, bro. You're responsible for your acts, you know? Like, no, don't use that, bro.
near future. In the meantime, people on the internet...
I feel you. I will not be the antipathic man that don't get what he can be throwing. Like, I'm a depressed guy, I take pills, I take medicine to that, but that's not the reason to be a stupid guy to someone. Even specifically with your girlfriend.
Have been digging up even more
the girl who
clips
is
of
with you
him mistreating Maya.
That may probably trying to help
Excuse me, don't talk to me like that, Matthew. Sorry, Maya. No, it's not funny. Every time you do it, it bothers me. It's just me kidding around, Maya. Well, it's not funny to me. I don't think it's funny. I don't know why you say it to me all the time. Because it's funny, Maya. It's just me trolling. I don't even realize I say it.
On multiple occasions.
Oh, there he is. He's
loser.
Third place.
Hey, that's third place. That's third place.
Loser.
Third place.
Loser. Second loser.
Matt, if you broke that headset, you are DMing Shroud right now.
And making Emiru cry on stream. And as we briefly went over earlier, I Keep It Taco also put out a statement defending Emiru and debunking Mizkif's claims that she neglected her rabbits, writing, "Emily has been one of my best friends for 10 years. At first, I thought this wasn't needed, but it's insane to me to see that people are actually calling her an animal abuser or bun killer on here the past few days and stating it as a fact. She goes way beyond for her pets, and in my view, Mizkif's claims are so easy to refute. To me, he often seems to avoid accountability. He has always come off as highly inauthentic. I personally suspect the cage was recorded after she left back in early July 2024, and kept in case it could be used against her later. Seeing his decision to share the video now instead of back then, it seems to me he may have filmed and kept the video for leverage. What actually happened, to the best of my knowledge, Emily left the cage behind because she was moving out to a new house alone and took her buns with her. It made no sense for her to clean the cage that week. She was focusing on moving away from a bad environment ASAP, and she planned to buy a new one for the new place. He then went on to explain that the cage in Mizkif's photo looked extra dirty because Emiru felt no reason to clean it as she was in the process of moving out. I Keep It Taco also emphasized just how much Emiru cared for each one of them. When one of her rabbits passed away due to pre-existing health conditions, she immediately ended her stream and drove 3 hours to the nearest vet hospital that was still open on a Sunday, and that many of her rabbits died early because they had poor genetics, stating, "A few of her original buns later on were learned to have very poor genetics due to the breeder she got them from years ago, pre-2017/2018. We didn't learn this till the buns bred later on in their lives, and we learned it over time. Emily has cared for multiple bunnies over the years. If they had any medical issue or were found to have a birth defect, she'd spend thousands of dollars to give them the best care as fast as possible. She tried to give her bunnies the fullest and longest lives possible, even when she was told it wasn't worth it financially. This was before she got into streaming too, and she is the same way now. They're not an accessory as some people try to imply on this site. It is hard to believe an animal abuse do this." With Taco's detailed statement backing Emiru and countless people with real rabbit care experience siding with him in the replies, Mizkif's argument is starting to look extremely flaky. The majority of people wouldn't be surprised if he mostly made up the animal neglect narrative as a form of blackmail against Emiru. Combine that with his shifting story about why he was so toxic in the relationship, and things aren't looking good for Mizkif. He's been ousted from OTK, and unless he's able to definitively prove that Emiru either lied or greatly exaggerated many of her serious accusations, he likely won't be accepted back into the greater streaming community anytime soon. On the other hand, if Emiru's allegations are proven to be true, Mizkif also risks getting banned from Twitch and other platforms as well. Even if he isn't banned and is allowed to continue streaming, the backlash from this controversy would follow him for the rest of his career. Whatever the outcome might be, it doesn't look like he'll be going down without a fight. As I was writing this video, he apparently filed a defamation lawsuit against Emiru and
He's suing Emiru and Asmongold for defamation. He's sick and damaged her reputation, harmed, lost earnings.
And Asmongold. Though, after analyzing the contents of this lawsuit, many legal experts expect him to suffer a humiliating loss that will only further ruin his reputation. Legal Mindset, for example, posted about the case on Twitter, stating, "Mizkif is going to lose this lawsuit so hilariously. I will need to supersize my popcorn for this one. He has opened himself up to complete reputation."
Oh, the guy's going to the court. Okay, but he's going against them. That's a little okay. Remember James Charles? Oh wait, remember this guy. What the fuck happened to him?
Is it possible for someone to just never learn